Check my YouTube channel, subscribe, and share.
Kimberly Nouns, the proud CEO of ATK Innovations LLC, which stands for Align, Thrive, and Know. Here at ATK, we believe if you align your goals, thrive in your purpose, then you will truly know who you are. Our mission is to empower you along your journey of personal growth, healing, and discovering your true purpose. As a purpose discovery coach, I believe everyone has a story to tell. Through my podcast, books, and speaking platform, I share inspiring stories of resilience and faith, igniting hope in those who seek it. My safe and transformative coaching program empowers my clients to embrace their true potential to make a positive impact in the world. Are you looking for inspiration, motivation, or a path to your true self? I invite you to join me. Together, we can explore the depths of your potential and create a life filled with purpose. Take the first step today by visiting my website at allthingskimberly.org and schedule your complimentary discovery call today. Your purpose awaits.
Welcome, everybody, to Kimberly Speaking Podcast. And today we have a very special guest. Dr. Tracy Dancy is in the house, guys. She is a motivational speaker. She is a best-selling author, and she is a suicide awareness advocate. Welcome, Dr. Tracy.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Kim. I am honored to be gracing your platform on this evening. Long overdue. I know we've been trying to get connected for a minute, but I am so excited to be here with you on tonight. As Dr. Kim mentioned, I am Dr. Tracy J. Dancy. I live in New Haven, Connecticut. I am a mother of 6 and an angel mom to 2. I am a motivational speaker and a 3-time best-selling Amazon author.
Awesome. So I want to do a little activity that I do with my students. I'm going to play a little game called Roses and Thorns. So a rose is something that is going really good. You're really excited. It's just really positive, and it could be anything you want to name. A thorn maybe be something you need a little bit of support in, or something that's not going as well as you would like for it to, or just kind of like you need a little help in that area. So we'll play this little game. See what you have for us today.
Okay. So how are we gonna do this?
Okay, you can go ahead. I'll let you go. You're the guest.
I'll say thorn.
Okay.
So you're gonna share what your thorn is, or you want me to share what my thorn is?
Let's do yours. Let's do your rose and your thorn, and I'll do mine.
Well, right now I would say my thorn would be the workplace.
Okay.
Juggling the changes that are occurring in the workplace, with the new systems, not being able to accommodate my clients in the manner that I would love to, and just meeting sometimes unrealistic deadlines.
Yeah, that's tough. Absolutely. Okay, so what's your thorn? Your rose. What's your rose?
My rose will always be when I'm able to write. I am working on my solo book project as well as a second book project, which is the Soaring on Angel's Wings sibling edition. But my solo book project is called Held by Grace, Reminders for the Broken but Not Defeated. So when I'm able to write, it's freeing. And that's when I'm in my creative space. So that's definitely my rose right now.
Okay, awesome. That is so great. Okay, my rose is, I would say, I have a lot of good things, coming up that I'm doing. Definitely keeping me busy. So, really excited about that. Able to really meet, new people, go different places. So, conferences coming up, awards ceremony, and, doing some different things, just with different organizations. So I'm really excited about that, all that's happening. A thorn is ironic because mine is kind of similar to yours. So work, we're going through a lot of work process changes, and just trying to get used to that. So it's a little rough. I don't mind change, but sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. You know what I mean? So once we get through that initial phase, and it's running smoothly, I'm good then. Yeah.
That's the part I'm waiting to get to.
Exactly, right? Let's just speed past this part, get to that part.
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna dive in. Tell us a little bit about what led you to be a motivational speaker.
Well, to be honest, it's not something that I ever saw myself doing. You know, I'm not the type of person that like to speak in front of people, but it occurred when I was selling my $5 paparazzi accessories, and when I would show the jewelry pieces, God will always open up a window of opportunity for me to begin to talk about my daughter that I lost. And so the more I sold the jewelry, the more I spoke about her, and the more customers were in tune to listen to my story. And so I would be on social media and I would see all these advertisements about different events. And I ran up on one particular, her fire tour. You know, there
Okay.
was Dr. Angela Brand, and she was like, teaching you how to speak like a girl on fire. And I'm like, okay, I got to get to this event. I need to get to her event. Maybe
Yeah.
there's something there for me that's going to help me along my journey when it comes to speaking, because my nerves be rattled. I'm like, how can I speak without like being rattled all the time? So I made it to that event. And I was so excited to get there. There was definitely some nuggets in the room for me. And then from there, I enrolled into her courses, and I took her trainings to become a motivational speaker and coach.
Oh wow, awesome. That sounds awesome. That is so funny. It's like it always seems like people that are like really nervous about speaking or like don't like to talk in public, like end up like, being into this in this area, this industry. So that's
Right.
that's really interesting. And is that so did you become a author before that, or were you speaking and then you kind of like started writing?
It was kind of twofold, because when I
Okay.
went to that her fire tour conference, in the room was
Hmm.
Miss Monique Denton, and so I was able to meet Monique, and I became an author for the first time under her book project.
Oh, okay.
That's why I tell
That's
people, you got to
awesome.
get out. You got to get in these rooms,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
there's
you do.
people set up in strategic places. Somebody in every conference has had something that I needed in my toolbox on this journey.
Yeah, absolutely. That is absolutely. I agree with that. That's a true statement. So I want to talk about what led you to birthing your soaring on angel's wing.
Soaring on Angel's Wings was actually birthed out of a lot of pain. It was birthed out of a lot of pain. I've lost two daughters, and it came to light when I lost my second daughter. After I lost my second daughter to suicide, it put me in a different space. I tell
Yeah.
part of my story all the time. I was so upset with God. I was big time mad at God. I was angry for
Mm,
allowing him to let me lose another child. Like, how can you
yeah.
let me go through this again? You saw how
Yeah.
you broke me the first time.
Yeah.
So even though I couldn't really talk to him at that time, once I started, what word am I looking for? Once I made up in my mind that I wanted to start my healing journey, once I
Okay.
started the healing journey, going through my counseling sessions, it was almost if I still felt alone, even after the counseling sessions I was going through. So I began to just have the conversations or speak out loud, like, listen, God, I need a community. I need a community of
Yeah.
women, people that's going to understand my level of pain. And so
Yeah.
pray and ask him that. I'm just saying it out loud. This is what I need. This is what I
Yeah.
need. And then he began to put all these different women
Mm,
in my path, women that
mm,
had lost children that I've never met.
mm,
There was one particular young lady that I had a whole conversation with, and she was very upset that morning. I'll never forget that morning. She was so upset, and she began to talk to me because she was hurting. She was in so much pain
mm,
because she had lost a daughter.
mm.
Saying to myself, what little does she know? She's
Yeah.
my story. And so when
Mm,
she finished talking, I explained to her, listen, it's okay not to
yeah.
be okay. I understand exactly what you're going through, what you're
Yeah.
feeling, because I'm walking those same shoes. And so that's when God said, that's my community. So he was like, okay, you got to launch this. I'm putting all these women in your path. It's time for you to launch
Mm,
this. So I didn't launch it right away. I went to another event called the Boss Tour. And that's where I was like,
mm.
okay, how am I going to do this? I don't even know where to start. How am I starting this?
Yeah.
And somebody was like,
Yeah.
listen, do it scared. If you got to do it scared, but just start, just
Yeah.
do it. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, got some great nuggets from some lawyers, tax accountants, all the people in the room. And so I
Mm.
began to ponder on names. And I'm like, okay, what am I
Mm.
going to name this grief support group? So then the name that I wanted, you know, after doing my research, there was too many comparison in names. So that wasn't going to be the
Mhm.
name. So now I'm anxious. I'm tossing and turning because I know God laid it on my heart. He gave it to me. So I'm like,
Mhm.
God, if you want me to start this grief support group, I'm going to need a name. So I woke up
Yeah.
this morning in the mirror, brushing my teeth. And all of a sudden I started
Mm.
singing on the wings of love. And I'm like,
Mm.
where did that come from? Then I heard it
Mm.
again. On the wings of love. So I immediately looked to my left and my right where I have my memorial tattoos for my daughters. And he says to me,
Mm.
soaring on your angel's wings. So that's how soaring on
Mm.
angel's wings came to light.
Oh, girl, that is so powerful. But like you saying this stuff, it's so crazy because like I always say this, we don't go through what we go through for ourselves. We
Absolutely.
go through what we go through to help others get through it. And
Yes.
just, people just come speaking to you not knowing that you
Hmm.
got, that you're there. You know what she's going through. Like you've been through what
Absolutely.
she's going through. So then nobody can help you through something like somebody that's already gone through it. You
Absolutely.
know? And it's a different type of support and you can help each other. So like
Hmm.
that is just I always say that and it always rings true no matter who I talk to, like listening to their stories.
Yes.
I love that. It's just
That's
so
because we
fun.
all have stories. We all have a story,
Yes,
you know, and I tell people
yes.
all the time when they are embarking upon their writing or their speaking, listen,
Mm,
nobody can't tell your story like you. It's your
yeah,
story. They can't tell you it's right. They can't tell you it's wrong.
yeah,
It's yours. You own it, you know, and you
yeah.
tell it the way God gives it to you.
Mm, mm. That is awesome. That is so awesome. So you began writing and you started writing all these books. And let me ask you a question. Like how was your writing healing for you? How did your writing help you heal?
Ooh,
Or
I
if it did help you
I
heal?
had already started my healing journey prior to
Mhm.
writing.
Okay.
I made up in my mind that I didn't want to stay stuck in my grief, and that if I
Yeah.
died in my grief, then that means
Mm,
these memories die with me. Who's going to
yeah.
carry their memories and their legacy? Who's going to keep it alive but me, right? And
Yeah.
so the healing
Absolutely.
journey started then when I got tired of looking and feeling the way I was looking and feeling.
Yeah.
So then when I started writing my first book project, it's titled You Don't Know. The chapter that I
Mm,
write about is titled You Don't Know. And in that chapter, there was some other healing that occurred because I talked about my upbringing. I
okay.
talked about being a victim of, child molestation in that book project. And I talk about the loss of my first daughter in that book
Mm,
project and how I found my voice to
mm.
begin to share my story about what happened to me in my youth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that was the beginning of the healing for me. When I Before I started my own solo book project, I was a part of another book project, which was the Fire Girl Code of Conduct, 12 Laws to
Okay.
Living Her Life as a Girl on Fire. And so in that chapter, my chapter is thou shall live with expectations.
Yeah.
When I say live with expectations, I'm not saying living with expectations that others have of you, because that's where we mess up at.
Yeah.
We can't try to live up to the expectations that others have of us. What are your expectations for you? Holding
Mhm.
yourself accountable for the things that you want. It reminds me of that scripture, speak those things as though so we got to speak those
Yeah.
things and expect
Yeah.
those things to come
Yeah.
into tuition, right? And so
Absolutely.
that was a different part of me. That was me
Mhm.
feeling, expecting, and being intentional about the things that I want in my life. And so
Yeah.
after the second book project, it was like, okay, Trace, it's time. It's time for my own book project. I want to be able to
Mm.
help other mothers that stuck in their grief
Yeah.
begin their healing journey and memorialize their angels all at the same time. So then,
Mm.
Soaring on Angels' Wings, Grief Through Our Eyes, I started recruiting for co-authors on that book project.
Mm.
And it was rough. And I understood there were so many people that signed up and then many that changed their mind, because to be a part of that
Yeah.
project, that means pulling back those layers, making
Yeah.
yourself
Absolutely.
transparent and vulnerable and living in
Yeah.
that moment in order to
Yeah.
put all those feelings and all that pain onto the pages.
Yeah.
And so when we finally got it, we ended up with, I have 3 amazing co-authors on that book project with me, and we cried. We had
Mm.
writer incubator sessions, and we cried.
Mm. Oh
We
my God.
cried, we paused, we reset, and we got back to it, because I knew that it's a delicate project, but God
Yeah.
had already told me that it was going to be small but powerful. It was going
Mm.
to do
Oh,
exactly what he needed it to do.
what he
And so
needed
for
to
some
do.
of my co-authors, one of my co-authors, it was the beginning of her healing journey. She had
Mm.
just started her healing journey writing about the loss of her sons.
Mm. Oh my gosh.
And yes, and so we
Yeah.
ran the best-selling author campaign for a few months, a month or two. We stayed number one, best-selling in 3 different categories.
Well,
So God really has His hands on this project, and
yeah.
I couldn't be more honored and grateful to be a part
Yeah.
of it, because the ultimate goal is to be that beacon of hope, to see
Yeah.
parents suffering under the weight of loss bring back to that state of wholeness.
Absolutely. And, we all go through, pain and trauma and just different things throughout our life. But
Hmm.
when we turn our pain into purpose and our power, that's when we really start to understand, man, I can really help somebody else through this darkness or through, this bad thing that happened. I can help other people,
Yes.
in telling my story. Because, we always feel like when we're going through something, I'm the only person going through this. Nobody understands what I'm going through. Like you feel, isolated. You feel like you're alone. But in just sharing
Hmm.
your story allows other people to, have the courage to talk about their stuff. And then you realize, man, it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? Other people
Right.
are or have experienced this. So it kind of helps to empower people.
And I think that's what it's all about, finding that
Yeah.
community, because after a while, I mean, people have experienced grief, one
Yeah.
magnitude or another, whether it's
Yeah.
been a loss of a child, a loss of a relationship, a
Yeah.
grandparent, a sibling, but there's somebody that can really resonate to the level of
Mm-hmm.
pain that you're going through. And child
Yeah.
loss is a pain like no other. That's
Mm.
a pain that tears the soul.
Mm.
There's
Mm.
is a constant void, a constant heartache,
Yeah.
that you're always aching for your child, because the
Yeah.
thing is, we've carried them for 9 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a different bond, it's a different level of
Yeah.
love, it's a different pain.
Mm.
So yeah, so just being able to talk to women and parents in general, because I would have loved to have some of the men on that book project, but men don't
Oh,
grieve the way
yeah.
we grieve. They
That's
have to have
true.
that image that they have to be strong,
Yeah.
but it's okay, because we're all
Yeah.
human. We all grieve, we all hurt, we all experience
Yeah.
pain. So they need to
Yeah.
find their voice and their outlet so they can start their healing journey as well.
Absolutely. So what would you say is the role of how does faith and spiritual endurance play a role in your journey?
Well, at this point in the beginning, like I said, I was very upset with God. The
Mm.
first time I lost my first daughter, I was heavy, heavy
Mm.
with the faith. I was on a mountaintop with my faith. There was
Yeah.
nothing that could move or shake me. I was in my late 20s then. Fast
Yeah.
forward now, 17
Yeah.
years later, after, when I lost my second daughter, it was like,
Mm.
are you kidding me? That faith went on the shelf.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
didn't have any hope in God whatsoever. No faith in God, no hope. I was just big time mad at him. And it
Yeah.
wasn't until I'm like, when I started having those conversations about, needing that community and how he
Yeah.
began to send people my way that understood my level of pain, that I can talk to, that didn't get tired of me. I was like, okay, God, that's when I tell people now I have a newfound appreciation for that Footprints poem. I didn't
Mm.
really focus on that poem too much until
Oh.
I understood that he was
Mm.
carrying me
Yeah.
along. I understood that he was
Yeah.
carrying me all along. And so I'm
Yeah.
saying to myself, like, okay, I'm in my right mind. Why am I in my right mind? Because God was
Mm.
there. I'm still
Yeah.
living to tell the story. Some people that have lost children, they're not, some of them, they turn to alcohol, they turn to drugs.
Yeah.
Some of them go to an institute because they lost it, you know. So I am
Yeah.
just grateful. And so I
Yeah.
see God, I see his hand, I see that he's carrying
Mm.
me through this journey.
Mm. Yes. And that we were so grateful for that because sometimes when we, things do cause our faith to shake or cause us to kind of like go through those periods where we're like, okay, God, like I know
Mhm.
you, but where are you? You know what I'm saying? Or, we just kind of get in those go through those seasons. And sometimes I was going through a season not so long ago like that. And I was like, man, I remember when, man, I had faith. My faith so strong. It's nothing you couldn't tell me nothing that God would not do, honey. I'm telling
Until
you.
he tests you, because there are certain
Exactly.
things in our life that's going to
Yeah.
make our faith shake. I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
okay, what are you
Absolutely.
going to do with all of this? But when you
Yeah.
broken, like,
Yeah.
how do
You
you
gotta get
trust
back.
God? How do you
Yeah.
trust him when he allow you to experience this magnitude
Yeah.
of pain? Like
Yeah.
how, and
Yeah.
even the scripture that says, give thanks. Give thanks to God concerning all things, for that's his will
That's what it
concerning us, right?
says.
We're supposed to thank him
Mm-hmm.
for the good, thank him for the bad. And I'm like, God, how do you expect me
Lord.
to thank you for taking my babies? Like
Yeah.
how? You know, but at this point, it's like, God, I thank you for
Yeah.
keeping me in my right mind.
Yeah.
God, I
Yeah.
thank you for entrusting them
Yeah.
to me. God,
Yeah.
I thank you for my beautiful, I thank you for giving them
Yeah.
life. I thank
Yeah.
you for letting me still feel their presence. So
Mm.
I can thank him
Yeah.
for those things and thank him for
Yeah.
showing me what my purpose was through all this pain.
Yes. Yes.
Him, because now I know that my daughter's passings are not in
Mm.
vain. So I can teach
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
But when you're in the heat of grief, when you're
Yeah.
stuck in your grief,
Yeah.
you're in that beginning stages of grief,
Yes. Yes.
and people will say the first thing they'll say is they're in a better place.
Yeah.
They're in a better place. God makes no mistakes. Okay. I know
Yeah.
God makes no mistakes. But
Yeah.
someone, don't tell, never say that to anyone
Yeah.
that's in their
Yeah.
grieving stages. Don't
Yeah.
say it to a grieving mom, because they're not
Yeah.
hearing you. They're not
Yeah.
reciprocal of that. They're not, I don't
Yeah.
want to hear that. All we want to know
Yeah.
is we want our babies here. We
Yeah.
want our
Yeah.
little ones here. Like we don't
Yeah.
want to hear that they're in a better place. Somewhere
Yeah.
down the road,
Yeah. You can
then they
receive
can
it.
accept it and receive it. But in the beginning, don't tell nobody they in a better place. God needed them more. He makes no mistakes. Because that's what
Mm.
people say. That's like a
Yeah.
cliche. It's the
It is.
what?
It
He's
is.
in a better place. Yes,
The
heaven is
what?
better than where we are now. But don't
Yeah.
nobody hear that right now. Because when I think
Yeah.
about my daughters, one of them
Yeah.
I lost at the age of 7. Jazz I lost at
Mm.
7. Shania I lost at 19. They both had so much life to live.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that they're in a better place, because God made me human. The human part of me
Yeah.
wanted to see them grow up,
Absolutely.
graduate colleges,
Yeah.
get married, have children.
Mhm.
All those memories
Yeah.
died with them. So I don't
Yeah.
want to hear at that time that they're in a better
I
place.
would hear.
Like,
Absolutely.
no.
Oh, you don't like you have to go through the process, and then after that then you will you can even receive and understand and believe those things, because when you're in it you don't hear that. you
Absolutely.
know all you
Absolutely.
can feel is your pain, and you're going through the grieving process, and you have to go through it. I was telling my cousin not so long ago, he lost his mom, and I'm like, because my heart goes out to you. I said, but go through the process, feel your feelings, don't try to not feel it. I said, because you have to go through the process to get to the other side. I was like,
Yeah.
it's tough, trust me, I know, but you got to go through the process
Because
you know
refusing to go through the process, you're
yeah,
dying inwardly.
yeah,
We can
yeah,
fix up the outside, but
yeah.
we're dying inwardly because we're not healing.
Absolutely.
It's an inward pain.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so when you are not choosing to heal, you're
Yeah.
dying a slow death,
Yeah.
and their memories
Ooh.
and their legacies is dying along with you.
Ooh. Girl. That's tough. Oof. mm. So I want to talk about some of your honors and your recognition. You recently received your honorary doctorate. Tell us about that experience.
That was like, I was like, what in the world? When I first found out I was going to receive one, I was like, okay, like seriously, like what? Like, how is this even happening? Who did what? Who said what? What? Like
Aw.
I try to, I was in my head.
Yeah.
I was in my head. Like, who on earth? Like, why
Yeah.
is this happening? And why me?
Yeah.
And why this? And why that? And why that? And what for? So I was
Yeah.
like, what for?
What for?
I was all up in my head. And I said, you know what?
Mm.
I said, this is God's doing.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
Lord's doing. And it is
Yeah.
marvelous in his
Well,
sight.
come on.
So
Absolutely.
I began to count down the days leading up to graduation as I began to accept
Oh.
it and move Tracy out of the
Mm.
way. And then I
Yeah.
remember all the people that have come to me and told me how much I inspire them.
Yeah.
I give them hope. You
Yeah.
know, my voice is magnetic. They love to
Mm.
speak. So just the things that I'm doing the heart work out here. I'm doing
Yeah.
heart work because everything that I do comes from the heart.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
And so I was like, okay, Dr. Tracy J. Dancy. Like, God did the qualifying. So some people be like, okay, some people were like, oh, I had to go to school to do this and do that in order for
Yeah.
me to get my doctorate. And there's
Yeah.
people like you that come along and all of a sudden they get their honorary
Yeah.
doctorate.
Yeah.
That's because God does the qualifying. I
Mm.
understand that now.
Ooh.
When they say favor ain't fair, listen, God does the qualifying. He put me on somebody's heart. Some people have been
Oh.
where my journey, where I started
Mm.
at, being broken
Mm.
to where I'm at now. I've made it my
Yeah.
business, my purpose to make sure that
Mm.
women and men and children don't stay broken because they
Yeah.
have to live. I want to be able to say healing looks good on you, bro. Healing looks good on
Oh, that's good. I love
you
it.
again, and so that honorary doctorate means so much to me. It's a huge
Yeah.
honor to have, and it just signifies my assignment that God has me on.
Mm. Absolutely. I love it. And that's where we met. So I'm so glad for this connection because you
That's
see how
why I
you
got that
connected us.
kid.
So I was really, it was a really wonderful experience. I was so grateful. Met a lot of wonderful people. It was just it was a really nice experience.
It was.
Definitely grateful for Dr. Tashana and her program and
It was
just
epic.
everything that was, yeah,
Epic.
absolutely.
Church.
Absolutely.
We come on now.
I
I've
know,
never
right?
had
Girl, like
a situation like that. We had some church. Like it was
it
so
did. We did. It was. It absolutely was. It absolutely
and
was.
it just gives
We
me so
did,
much
girl.
joy every time I reflect back on that moment.
We did. It was awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our lightning round. We're gonna ask you a couple of questions. I want you to answer them as best as you can. What's one quote or scripture that keeps you grounded?
One's quote, or the race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to those who endure to the end.
Mm, absolutely. Oh my God. Okay. So what gives you hope today?
The fact that I will see my daughters again.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, this has been so awesome. I'm so glad we were finally able to make this happen. It's so crazy because like anytime like I have issues like with scheduling or conflict with podcasts, I'm like, okay, devil, you just don't know. It's something that they need to hear on this episode, and you trying your best not to make it happen. I said, but no, we are going. That's when I make sure I'm like, oh yeah, I got to make sure that this one happens because it's something
Absolutely.
that God wants His people to hear, and we're gonna
Yes.
put it out there.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. So, what are some upcoming engagements you have going on? What can we be on the lookout for? I know you said you're writing your solo book, so we can look
Yes.
out for that.
Yes. So definitely look out for the Held by Grace, Reminders for the Broken,
Mhm.
but Not Defeated, which is my solo book project. We're still working on recruiting authors for the Soaring on Angels Wings Sibling Edition. So if you are a sibling and you have lost a sibling and you're looking for an outlet to start healing, whether you started already and you need it to be a continuance for you, and you want to memorialize your sibling, we want to hear from you, because I realized when working on the first book project that siblings have a different bond.
Yeah.
It's a different level of love. There are different stories, many secrets that mom and dad don't know nothing about. So we would love for you to be a part of the Soaring on Angels Wings Sibling Edition, so you can start your healing journey, be a beacon of hope to others, and memorialize your sibling. And then I know in December, I believe December 12th, I'm receiving an award at a event called Forever Marked. It's a legacy award, and that ceremony is honoring mothers who have lost children.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is
Yes.
awesome.
So I'm looking to start 2026 running with the ground.
Listen.
That's it. I want to be booked and busy all 2026 because there's some things I want to do, especially when I finish this cohort and I get access to the grant fundings that I need, because I want to be able to do some more with Soaring on Angels. I want to be able to just not just send cards. I want to be able to send flower arrangements with the Soaring on Angels Wings ribbons on them to every family that's going through something, or just gift bag, those warm gesture baskets that you need, whether it's a cooked meal or gift cards for a meal out to eat or something of that extent. Then eventually I do want to work on having my grief coaching sessions in an office. I want to take it off the platforms and bring it more personal into the office space.
Okay. All right. So that's awesome. And the work that you're doing is truly, truly a blessing, I'm sure, to those that you are coming in contact with. And I feel like is always needed. Anytime you're in a position where you're helping others, that's always needed, because who doesn't need that? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, because if I'm doing it, God gonna take care of me.
Listen, won't he do it? Never seen the righteous forsaken, honey. That's what it says.
Take your eyes off of your own problems and make yourself available to somebody else that's going through.
Girl,
God's gonna take care of you.
Big, and it helps you with your stuff.
That's it.
It helps you.
So
It helps
me
you,
helping others
girl.
heal is healing for me. So we all heal together.
Absolutely. It's just a change. It's reciprocal. Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so where are you on social media? Where can they find you? And I'm also going to put your links and stuff with the episode as well, too, on YouTube.
Okay. So on social media, Facebook, you can find me at Dr. Tracy J Dancy on Facebook. Also on Facebook, I have a Soaring on Angels Wings grief support page. You can find me there as well. We just started a Soaring on Angels Wings TikTok page, so you can follow me there as well. And so those are pretty much the social media handles that I'm using for right now. Yeah, and besides my email address, which is soaringonangelswings@gmail.com. And then I have the website, www.tracydancy.com. On the website, you'll find out more information about who I am, what it is that I do, and why I do what I do. And then that's where you'll find all my merchandise and my books as well.
Okay, absolutely awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to join us on today and bless us with your wisdom and your nuggets and your presence. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kimberly Speaking 8062. Until we speak again, be blessed.
Be blessed. Have a good night.